Hello all, welcome to Shell Scripting for DevOps Engineers. My name is Kastro Kiran. This is lecture 5 in the series of Shell Scripting for DevOps Engineers. And in this video, specifically, we are going to talk about a concept called scheduling in Shell Scripting. Specifically, we are going to focus on two important concepts in this lecture video. Let us see what are those two concepts. Firstly, we will understand what is meant by scheduling, what are the different types of schedulings that we have, and then we are going to understand a concept of cron jobs, which is a sub part of understanding the scheduling. So first, let us go and understand the concept of scheduling. So what is meant by scheduling? Scheduling is actually a crucial concept in shell scripting. It is a crucial concept in automation, especially for DevOps engineers. Because usually as a DevOps engineer, we need to automate the execution of tasks on daily basis. So in order to do the automation of executing a particular task on daily basis, it is important to understand the scheduling concept in shell scripting. And this scheduling concept will allow the scripts to run at predefined times without any manual intervention. So it allows scripts, whatever the shell scripts that we are going to write. So it is going to allow the shell scripts to run at predefined times without any manual intervention. Once you write the shell file, that is done. And once you configure the schedule of executing the shell file, that is done. And automatically, the shell file will keep on executing based on the configuration that we have done while scheduling that shell file. So let us understand what are the different types of scheduling that we have in a Linux operating system. So types of scheduling in Linux operating system. Generally, we have two types of scheduling in Linux operating system. The first one is called as one-time execution. The first one is called as one-time execution, and the second one is called as recurring execution. One-time execution and recurring execution. So what does it mean by one-time execution? Suppose, let's say you have a shell file and you want to execute that shell file only once. And that execution you are going to configure. So when you want to execute a shell file only once, that kind of scheduling is called as one-time execution. Let's say I have a shell file every day at 9 o'clock in the morning, automatically the shell file should get executed. That is called as recurring execution. Now, when you want to do one-time execution of a shell file, we need to use a command called at command for one-time execution of a shell file. Okay, we'll use at command to execute a shell file only once. But let's say if you want to execute a shell file on daily basis, then we are going to use the concept of cron jobs to schedule the files or to schedule the execution of shell files on daily basis at required intervals of time. So these are the two different types of scheduling that is available in Linux operating system. So first, let us understand how we can work with one-time execution. Let us understand what is the concept of one-time execution in a practical way. So here what we need to do is, if you want to work with a one-time execution, as I said earlier, we need to use at command for that. But by default, when you launch an EC2 instance, this at command will not work. So we have to install this one. So let us see how to install the at command to execute the shell files for only one time. So for that, we are connected to I have already connected to the EC2 instance, and I am going to install the at here. So currently, I am having the Linux-based EC2 instance. So when you are working with Linux-based EC2 instance, the package manager is yum. Now I want to install at. So yum install at. But currently, if you observe, I don't have the root user privileges. So since we don't have the root user privileges, I'll just add sudo in the beginning. So sudo yum install at, hit enter so that the at command will get installed. That command will get installed. Suppose if you are working with the Ubuntu based operating systems, then we will use sudo apt install at. So this is basically used for Debian based instances. Okay, this is for Debian based instances. So Debian based in the sense you have generally the Ubuntu operating system in the AWS cloud. Suppose if the operating system is Linux based, that is RHEL based, Red Hat enterprise level based systems, then we'll use sudo yum install at. So this is based for RHEL based. This is based for RHEL based. So typically here we have Amazon Linux, and we can also go with the CentOS as well. CentOS as well. Okay, so this is how you can install the at command, sudo yum install at, sudo yum install at. Right. Once you install at, basically at is a service. So we need to start the service. We need to start the service. So in order to start the service, the command is sudo systemctl start atd. Start atd. Hit enter so that the service has got started. Once the service is started, we need to enable the service. We need to enable the service. So sudo systemctl enable atd. atd is the command to start and to enable the at service. So it is also got enabled. Right. Now what we will do is, let us schedule a shell script using at command. Using a at command. Now suppose, let's say currently I don't have any shell files. Let us create one shell file. Let us create one shell file. So suppose I'll just create one shell file, vi, let's say sample.sh. Sample.sh. Now inside the shell file, we know every shell file will start with Shaban. Every shell file will start with Shaban. So hashtag factorial symbol /bin/bash. Right. And here I'll write the commands. Let's say pwd, that's one command. And then let's say who am I? That's another command. I want to execute date, and I want to execute a calendar. These are the 4 commands that I want to execute. Now I want to execute these commands only once. Only once. Okay, only once. This sample.sh file, whatever is there, I want to execute it only once. Now, when you want to execute a shell file only once, we will use at command for that. We will use at command for that. But directly we can execute sh space sample.sh. When you execute this, what will happen? Immediately it will get executed. But I don't want it immediately. I want to schedule it. I want to schedule it. Let's say next day, I want to execute this shell file at 9 o'clock in the morning. At 9 o'clock in the morning. Next day, I want to execute this shell file at 10:30 in the morning. At 10:30 in the morning. Let's say I want to execute this shell file called sample.sh file to be executed at 10:30 tomorrow. 10:30 tomorrow. So for that, what we have to do is echo. Currently, where is my sample.sh file? That path we have to give. That path we have to give. Let's say I'll take the path which is pwd. Now echo, and then keep it quotations. What is my path? /home /ec2-user. In this path, my shell file is available. What is my shell file name? Sample.sh. That's it. Now here I have given the path to execute this shell file. But when I want to execute tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. So I'll just give it as pipeline symbol. At command I'm using. At when I want to execute, let's say 10:30. Is it in the morning or is it in the evening? A.m. 10:30 a.m. It is in the morning. Now when I want to execute, let's say tomorrow I will write. So tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning, exactly this particular shell file which is available in this path will get executed. Hit enter. Now you see, it is asking me to come up with a couple of things. One is commands will be executed using a /bin/sh. That is okay. And job 1, when it will get executed, you can see Sunday, March to at what time? 10:30 a.m. and at this particular year, that is 2025. So my cron job, I mean my job got scheduled here. So here my job got scheduled at this particular time. This particular time. So like this, you can schedule the execution of jobs only once by using at command. By using at command. Let's say you want to execute a shell file on a specific date. On a specific date. Let's say on 10th March at 10:30 in the morning, I want to execute. So what will you do? Instead of giving tomorrow, you give the date and duration. You give the date and at what time you want to execute. Give that so that you can execute the shell file, or automatically the shell file will get executed at that particular period of time. At that particular period of time. And remember, when you are writing the at command, it will execute only once. It will execute only once. Next time, it won't execute automatically. So generally, in real-time scenarios, we don't use at command to execute the shell file. Why? Because it is executed only once. It is executed only once. Now, let's say I want to execute the shell file. I want to execute the shell file in a different way. I want to execute the shell file in different way. Let's say the second method is by using a cron job. By using cron job, that is basically recurring execution. Recurring execution. That is my second method. Now, when you want to execute the shell file at a required interval of time on daily basis, or on weekly basis, or on monthly basis, or on hourly basis, then we'll go for cron jobs. Then we'll go for cron jobs. So the cron daemon, okay, so here the cron daemon is used to execute scheduled tasks, at fixed intervals. At fixed intervals. Let's say I want to execute a shell file every day at 10 o'clock in the morning. Yes, we can do that. How we can do? By using the concept of cron jobs. By using the concept of cron jobs. So here, what is a cron? What is a cron? So cron is basically an utility. Cron is a utility, or cron is an utility in Linux operating system to schedule, in Linux operating system to schedule jobs execution. To schedule jobs execution. In real time, we will use several jobs. We will use several jobs, or we want to execute several jobs on daily basis, or on hourly basis, or on weekly basis, or on monthly basis, or even on yearly basis as well. So in this case, I want to automate that work. I want to automate that work. So in order to automate the work of executing the shell file on daily basis, we'll use a concept called cron job. We'll use a concept called cron job. Now, what are such concepts, or what are such things that we do it on daily basis? Let's say, usually, we have some files in the temporary folder. I want to delete the temp files. I want to delete the temp files on daily basis. Let's say, before I start the work, as soon as I sit for work at 10 o'clock, immediately the shell file should get executed, which is going to delete all the files that are available in a temp directory. That is one automated way. Let's say I want to take the backup. I want to take the backup of files of a particular directory. Yes, that is possible. How that is possible? By using a cron job. Let's say I want to perform the system health checks. The system health checks. I want to know whether the system is properly working good or not. So in all these cases, in real-time scenarios, we'll go with cron expression or cron job or cron job. Now, how we will write the cron job? How we will write the cron job? Now, in order to write the cron job, we need to understand cron expression. We need to understand cron expression. So usually the cron expression or cron format, you can say cron expression or cron format. Let's say usually any cron expression or any cron job will follow a specific syntax. General syntax is 5 stars with spaces in between. 5 stars with spaces in between. And this 5 stars, when you give, what will happen is every minute, the job will get executed. Every minute, the job will get executed. What does it mean by job? Job means a shell file. Every minute, whatever shell file that you want to execute, it will get executed. It will get executed. Now, what is first star represents? What does second star represents? What does third star represents? And what does fourth and fifth star represents? That we need to understand in order to schedule the jobs at required intervals of time. First, let us talk about first star. What does first star represents? First star represents every minute. Okay, first star represents a minute. So typically we have 60 minutes. So here the minutes will start from 0 to 59. 0 to 59. And then second star represents R. Second star represents R. So generally we have 24 hours. So 0 to 23. 0 to 23. And third star represents day of a month. Day of a month. So typically we generally have 31 days in a month. 31 days in a month. So 1 to 31. 1 to 31. Some months will have only 30 days. So it will be 30 also. February usually will have 28 days or 29 days. So we can give that. Whatever day that we want, we can give that. And fourth star typically represents the month. Fourth star typically represents a month. We generally have 12 months. So the value will range between 1 to 12. 1 to 12. And the fifth star, which is the final star, fifth star represents a day of a week. Day of a week. Let's say in a week, we have 7 days. Monday, Saturday to Sunday, or Saturday to Sunday. Now, usually these numbers will start from 0 to 7. 0 to 7. So here, Sunday is 0. Monday is 1. Tuesday is 2. Like that, the numbers will get varied. So 0 to 7. Suppose, let's say, I want to execute the job. Every 10th minute. What will I do? So I'll give 10. First star represents minutes, right? I'll give 10. 10 4 starts. What will happen? Every hour, every day, every month, at 10th minute, the job will get executed. At 10th minute, the job will get executed. This is how we can write the Cron expression. So let us see some sample cron schedules. Okay, some sample cron schedules. So let us understand how we can write with that one. But before understanding this one, you don't have to know about how to write this cron expression, because we have generally couple of websites that automatically gives you the cron expression based upon your requirement. One such website is crontabguru.com. This is most commonly used website in the real-time scenario. So crontabguru.com, that's a website name. So let me show you that website here. So let me go to the browser. In the browser, just type crontab.guru. This is the website. So I'll just give the same thing in your notes also, so that when you are working, you can verify this website in order to write the cron expression as well. Right. So here you can see the crontabguru.com, and here this is where you are going to write the cron expression. So the general cron expression is 5 starts. Okay, 5 starts. When you give 5 starts, what will happen is the job will get executed at every minute. You see that. Suppose, let's say, I want to execute at every 15th minute. So the first star is minute, second star is hour, third star is day. In a month, which day? And in a fourth star is month, which month? And the last star is day. That is typically for week. That means in a week we have 7 days, right? We just have to give the number. So suppose, let's say, I want to execute a job. Every 10 minutes. So I'll just give it as a 10 at minute 10. But here it will execute the job at minute 10. But if I want to execute the job, on a specific day in a month, let's say I'll give the month as 4th. I'll give the month as 3rd or March. And then let's say I want to execute it on every Tuesday. So I'll give it as a 2. So 2 is a Tuesday. 0 is Sunday. 1 is Monday. 2 is Tuesday. And on, let's say, on 27th of every month, I want to execute it. So 27. And at which hour you want? Suppose, let's say, I need to execute the job at 10 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock in the morning. So 10. You see, at 10:10 on day of month 27 and on Tuesday in March, it will execute the job. So you just have to give this cron expression and then the job will get executed. Let us understand that in more detailed way. Suppose, let's say, I want to run the job. I want to execute the job or run the job every 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes. If you want to execute the job every 15 minutes, what is first star represents? First star represents a minute. Now, suppose, let's say, I want to execute the job at every 15 minutes. No, so let us write it here itself. Now, I want to execute it every 15 minutes. So by 15. If you give directly 15, what will happen? At minute 15, it will execute. But I want it to execute every 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, I want to execute. So what you have to do? Star by 15. If you give by symbol, if you give the slash symbol, it represents every 15th minute. Let's say I want to execute the job at every 50th minute. Hit enter. You see that. That is how you can write the script. Let's say I want to execute the job every day at 10 a.m. I want to execute the job every day at 10 a.m. Right. Suppose, let's say I'll give 0th minute, 10 a.m. right? So I'll give 10. You see it. At 10 a.m. every day, it will execute the job. At 10 a.m. every day, it will execute the job. Let's say I want to execute the job at every day 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever it is. Let's say 5 p.m. Here, you should not give it as a 5. Because it will take in the morning 5 o'clock. But I want it at 5 p.m., evening 5 p.m. Evening 5. So it generally follows the 24-hour clock. So 5 p.m. in the evening is 17. At 17 means 5 in the evening. At 5 p.m. every day the job will get executed. So like this, you can write multiple scripts to execute the job. Right. Now we understood how we can write the cron expression. Now the question comes is where we will configure it. Where to configure the cron job in Linux operating system. In Linux operating system, we will have a file. Which is called as a cron tab file. Cron tab file is used to configure cron jobs in a Linux operating system. There is a file called cron tab. Inside that cron tab file, we need to configure the cron jobs. Now, this cron tab file, it will be available for every Linux machine. For every Linux instance. VM means virtual machine. For every Linux instance, the cron tab file will be available. Now let us see how to use the cron job. So for that, what we need to do is first we need to open the cron tab editor. So how to open the cron tab editor? Cron tab -e. E represents editor. Hit enter. Now you see, it is telling that there is no such command that is found. Cron tab -e. It is telling that particular file is not available. Now how we can work with this one? So since cron tab -e is not working, what we need to do is we need to install that. Directly, it won't be available. We need to install that. So in order to install cron tab -v, this is the command sudo yum install crony-y. Hit enter so that it will get installed. Once it gets installed, then you can start the service. So let me start the cron D, and then let us enable that Let us enable that. Once it is enabled, you can check the status of that. You can check the status of that. And when you check the status of that, you should see active and running in green color. You see it here. You are seeing active and running. Once you see this one, then just press Ctrl C to come out of it. Now we are good to go with cron tab -e. So just go with cron tab -e, cron tab -v. What is this file for? This is used to open the cron tab editor. Why we need to open the cron tab editor? Because inside this, we are going to execute the cron jobs, or we are going to configure the cron jobs. Hit enter. Now you see, we are there inside the cron tab -e file. Now, if you want to display the cron jobs that are scheduled, let me come out of this. Escape :WQ. So if you want to see whether cron jobs are scheduled or not, so the command is cron tab -L. Cron tab -L. Currently, I haven't scheduled any jobs. Suppose if you want to remove cron tab file, cron tab -R, cron tab -R. So this is how you can work with the cron tab editor. Currently, I'm not going to remove the cron tab file because we need to work with that one. Right. So now what we will do is, let us understand how we will write and schedule a shell file. Right. So first let us do that. So for that, what we need to do, first we need to open the cron tab file. So cron tab -e. So go to the file, go to the insert mode. So press I to go to the insert mode. Let's say I want to run a script every 5 minutes. I want to run a script. So star by 5. By 5 represents every 5 minutes. And then give 4 stars. After that. Make sure the spaces are very, very important. And then you have to give the file path. Let's say the file is available in /home/ec2-user/ let's say I'll create a shell file called Kastro.sh. Let's say for this demo purpose, what I'll do is every 1 minute I want to execute. So I'll give it as a 1. Now, inside this path, there will be a file called Kastro.sh. Whatever commands that are there inside this file, they will get executed every 1 minute automatically. Let me press escape :WQ. Right, come out of the file. Now, what we need to do, we need to create a file. Currently, do we have the file which is called as Kastro.sh? No. So vi Kastro.sh. Hit enter. Go to the insert mode, shabang /bin/bash. Let's say I'll give pwd. I'll do who am I? I want to see date. I want to see the calendar. Press escape :WQ. Now, if you wait for 1 minute, what will happen is the cron tab, the shell file will automatically gets executed. Let it happen. Meanwhile, I would like to show you there are some scripts which I have already given in this one. So those scripts, you can use it as an assignments. Those scripts, you can use it as an assignments, or you can also use it as a practice keys. So these scripts you try to execute and you try to see. Suppose, let's say the first command. Let's say I want to execute a command. Every day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So run this script or run this cron job and then give the command. Which command you want to run? Suppose, let's say I want to run a command. Called pwd. So every day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this command will automatically run. Like this, there are some commands which I have given. There are some cron jobs which I have given. You can execute these cron jobs so that automatically the commands will get executed at the scheduled time. This is something which is used to send a mail. You can see run a script every 5 minutes and redirect it to the standard output to dev null. Only the standard error will be sent to the specified email address. You mention whatever email ID you want, it will automatically send some mail. Okay. And then if you want to run, let's say 2 commands at a time. on daily basis. Then you give command 1, and then and symbols you have to give 2 times, and symbols you have to give, or ampersand symbols, and then command 2. Let's say I want to execute 2 commands at 3 o'clock in the afternoon every day, or every Monday. Let's say the first command is pwd, the second command is who am I. So like this, you can work with cron jobs. Like this, you can work with the cron job. Even you can do the same thing while creating the shell file also. So I hope you now understood how you can work with cron jobs. So I'll also give you a couple of assignments here, how to create a shell file and how to schedule that shell file so that you can run the job or you can run the shell file at regular intervals of time. I'll give you a couple of assignments in this document. Once this document is available in the GitHub repository, you will find the assignments there also. You'll find the assignments there as well. This is all about this particular video. So in this video, we have learned what is meant by scheduling and what are the different types of scheduling. And most importantly, we have focused on cron jobs. That is how to schedule a shell file execution by using cron jobs. In the next video, we are going to see some of the real-time scripts that you can execute in order to understand how the scripts will be written and how the scripts are written as far as the DevOps engineer point of view is concerned, and how we can execute those scripts. So I'll be explaining you that in the last video, which is the next video. Thank you all. See you in the next video.